Right, I'm continuing on with the bodywork here now. I'm worked the gaps on that right hand side door and got them pretty good. The back one there is quite okay. I've sanded the paint off that door now, and apart from mine a little dent there, which unfortunately is right above the reinforcing bar inside, difficult to get at, but other than that, that door's in really good shape. Tiny little one there, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with that, the way that's come up. That's the door that you might recall that I repaired all the bottom section on the inside there, so we're getting quite a good door out of that. Now, door number 2, the left-hand door, it is a little bit more tragic, I guess you could call it. There's a little bit of damage in that front corner there, a few minor little dents here and there, but the big issue with it is it had quite a big crease in through here, or in through there actually, and I've got that out, but what we've got is a little bit of a high spot through there now. So what I'm going to try and do there is shrink that with a bit of heat. It's going to be a bit of an experiment, I guess, but it can't be any worse than it is. So I've drawn up a bit of a grid pattern to cover the high area of it, and what I'm going to do is put a little bit of heat on all those areas bit by bit, and I'll heat it up a little bit, and then I'll dolly around it and see if I can get this material to shrink back to somewhere where it should be. So this is an experiment. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but time will tell, and the proof will be in the pudding, as they say. So I'll get on with that now, and I'll give you a bit of an update along the way, and we'll see how it goes. Right, well, I've done a little bit of that now, and the strategy seems to be working okay. The high spot originally was right out to there, basically. We've got it a little bit low there now, and the only really high bit is just that area there, marginal there. It's a little bit low through there, tad high there, but I'll continue on. It's a little bit high there, but I'll continue on and try and get this area here mainly from about there to there. I'll try and get that down, even get it down low would be preferable to high, but yeah, I think if a little bit more work, I've probably been on it 15 or 20 minutes maybe, and a little bit more work, I think we'll get that to be quite acceptable. So a little low one there. I'll put a little bit of heat on that, and that'll lift that up, and a couple more there, and I think we'll probably end up with a reasonable sort of a job with it. So I'll continue on and let you know what the final outcome is. Right, we're gradually shrinking that down to a fairly small area now, about 6 inches by 2.5 inches, I guess that'd be. A few little dimples there from where we've been hitting it, but I should be able to get most of that out with a little slapping hammer. So yeah, progressing on. A little bit of a high spot there, still a low and a little high there, but I think a little bit more work on that and we'll have that out quite successfully. Right, well I think I got a pretty good result there. I shrunk it back using the original technique that I'd devised with the grid pattern and the dolly and the hammer. It worked up to a point, but I found that it put quite a lot of little dimples into the aluminium. So what I ended up doing was I ended up making up a little sandbag, a little fella there. It's just out of a bit of tonneau cover material and filled with sand, and instead of using the finishing hammer, I used that little slapper. And what I found with that was it shrunk it down better and it didn't leave a lot of marks. You can see a few little tiny little marks there, little dimples, which are a tiny bit lower than the finished product. It's a little bit of primer filler will fill those little low spots up quite easily. Up here there's a couple there, and unfortunately they're right above the reinforcing bar in underneath, so I'm going to try and have to get in and lever them out a little bit. I could fill them, but I'll try and get them a bit better. And the only other thing to do now is there's a tiny little high spot just there that I noticed when I put the door up in the horses there. But all in all, if you look down there, you can see that that's all quite back in the place where it should be. Another little low spot there, which is behind that bar again. So I'll try and get that out, but the main bit in question, which was just there, has shrunk down quite well, and reasonably happy with that result. I'll give you a bit of a look from back this way, and you can see with the eye there that that's all shrunk back pretty good. So anyone that wants to have a go at that, I'd recommend the little sandbag. Leather would be better to make it out of, because it did tend to stick to the hot metal a little bit, and certainly the slapper more so than the finishing hammer. And you won't get little things like that, but I'm not going to be too worried about that. I could work on it more and get them out, but a little bit of primer filler over that, and I think it'll all be okay. So there you have it, another reasonably successful sort of a job done.